Hello, and welcome to the Joss Brown Podcast. With over 40 years of combined financial planning experience serving high net worth clients, we will discuss our favorite topics, concepts, and stories. Hello, welcome back to the Joss Brown Podcast. Today we have myself, Deven Joss, and Dan Joss on the episode. So if you saw our intro last week or 2 weeks ago, we're doing the three-legged stool of retirement income. So today's episode will be on Social Security. So what is Social Security?
I don't know. Retirement income.
Okay.
Provided by the government that workers paid into over their working career, and when they retire, they get that back.
Yep. So that's that 6.2% you'll see coming off your pay stub.
And then the employer pays 6.2% also.
So 12.4% goes into the social OASDI.
Okay.
And then there's this extra portion for Medicare, but that's different. Social Security is a government program designed to provide financial support for individuals and their families, possibly.
Mm-hmm.
It's funded through payroll taxes, as we talked about, and then it's administered by the SSA, Social Security Administration. So, to start off, who qualifies for Social Security?
Workers
that...
Employees that worked for and paid into the system for, is it 40 quarters?
40 quarters. 40
10
credits.
years.
Yep. And then there's so many different rules and stuff on what a quarter is, but you have to make, I think, $1,730 for one credit, and you can earn 4 credits a year.
Okay.
So if you earn whatever that is times 4 in a month, then you get your 4 credits for the year.
Okay.
So.
And then also spouses get benefits if they don't work.
Yep.
Based on their spouse's earnings and contributions.
Yeah.
Good.
And then those workers, they can start at age 62. Full retirement age right now is around 66 to 67. There's also disability benefits, which I think are kind of rare, kind of hard to get. There's a limited types of disabilities that you'd have to have in order
certain definitions.
In order to get the benefit. Then there's survivor benefits, which these are payments made to family members of the deceased worker. So it could be a spouse, or children, or
the spouse would be called widow benefit.
Yep.
Widow benefit, or children, which get a benefit up until the age of 18.
Yeah. So there's different rules on that as well. And then also the deceased person's parents, if they were dependents.
No, if they're dependents, okay.
Yeah. So those are kind of the 4 categories of who qualifies: the worker, a disabled, a survivor, and then
dependents.
Yeah. So types of benefits. So each of those categories has a different type of benefit and a different way it's calculated and how they're eligible. I read an article the other. There's over 2,700 different rules regarding Social Security. And so it can be very confusing. So if you're wondering on if you're eligible or not, then you should probably talk to a professional. It's kind of hard to talk to.
I think Social Security is one of those topics where everyone knows a little bit about it, and nobody knows everything about it. So for our clients' purpose, we look at their estimated benefits, and then talk with them about the implications of taking it at full retirement or early, and taking essentially a discount of what they could get if they take it early, and then the bonus of waiting a few more years and taking it at 70. So that's worth a conversation with somebody that knows about Social Security.
So we like to look at their Social Security statement, see what their PIA is, which is the primary insurance amount. And so at age 67 or 66, wherever.
Let's use 67. Full retirement age.
For full retirement age. So that is where you'll get 100% of your benefit, and then it will go up 8% each year up until 70. So you could get up to 124% of your PIA. But if you take it before, starting at 62, I think that's 70% of your PIA, and then it goes up until the full retirement age.
And if we make some conservative estimates that say this is a lifetime benefit of $1 million, then 24% more, or $250,000, or 30% less, a little over $250,000, that's a $500,000 decision. And that's why we think it's worth spending some time with somebody that has the ability to kind of game plan your benefit for you and your spouse, and see how that works with your personal savings and your employer-sponsored plans.
The other two legs.
Yeah.
So that's when it comes into play, is you can make an easy decision. Oh, I want this cash flow at age 62, but you have to take into account all your other retirement income, how long you think you'll live, because there's the break-even point of when you'll choose. So we kind of take that into account.
And on the extreme of the break-even, it's, well, I could get it at 62, so let me start getting my benefit now, and then 3 years later you die. Well, you won, because if you'd waited till full retirement age, you wouldn't have got anything from Social Security. But if you lived till 103, like we have some clients, they would have won by waiting longer. And getting that 24% more, or 50% more if they waited from as soon as they could get it until the latest they can get it.
So if you take early, it's a permanent haircut, but you do get 1 year to reverse that decision. So you would pay it back, and then you can wait longer.
That's right. Yeah, years ago, you could at any time change and say, whoops, I made a mistake. Let me pay everything back and start again. But now, once you passed a year of receiving benefits, you can't change your mind. I mean, you may change your mind, but you're not going to do anything about it.
So what would you say are a couple different strategies for couples when considering taking Social Security? Whether one worked for their whole career and one maybe stayed at home. So how would you go about that?
Typically, right now, what we do is we say that the higher wage earner should wait until 70, and the non-wage earner should start getting their benefit at full retirement age.
Because you can never get
because it doesn't increase your benefit by waiting to 70 if you're the non-earning spouse. But most people work a few quarters. Some may even work 10 quarters throughout their lifetime, and not ever be full time. But you saw it was like $1,700. It's not that much, and if you do some part-time work, you may benefit. So you'll have your own benefit, but working with your own benefit or your spousal benefit, which is different. And then the high earner spouse, that's where some complications come in, and that's why it's worth a conversation before you make the decision to start. We as advisors can't do anything for people that come in and say, well, I started 4 years ago. What should I do now? Well, we can work with the survivor benefit maybe, and we can work with the spousal benefit and the high earner benefit if they haven't started it, but then we look at employer-sponsored plans and other personal savings to figure out how to make your plans work.
So how does this all fit into the three-legged stool?
Well, Social Security was designed to be a third of retirement income. So Social Security, based on your lifetime of earnings, or an employer-sponsored plan, which is like sometimes a pension. We have federal or state pensions now, or now it's more defined contribution plan where it's a 401k or a 403b where you're saving to sometimes getting a match. And then your personal savings, which could be an individual IRA or a Roth IRA or rental house or some other things, but there'll be after-tax savings. There'll be some coordination of each of these three legs of the retirement income stool.
Yeah.
And they're each important, and they each have their own complexity.
Mm-hmm.
Because if I wanted to make a large purchase, I just can't advance my next year's Social Security benefits.
Yeah.
Those come in at regular payments.
I saw one stat that said 50% of Americans retirees rely on their Social Security for half of their retirement income.
Yep.
So that's a pretty big portion.
Yep. And so if it is a large lifetime benefit, it's worth it to say, what does that do for me and my retirement goals?
Yeah.
And if it covers your fixed expenses, that's great. But we've seen inflation go up recently, and the Social Security benefit has its own annual adjustment for inflation. Sometimes they're large, like a couple of years ago, I think it was close to 10%, but also sometimes it doesn't adjust at all.
Yeah.
Depends on how the government measures inflation and then what they do with the Social Security benefit. So we'll take a look at that because it is a guaranteed benefit with some inflation adjustments over your lifetime, and it could be a big for many it's the majority of their income. But for those where it's some of their income, for example, for a relatively low wage earner, Social Security is a larger part of that benefit. But someone who earns a lot of money throughout their career, the Social Security benefit isn't as large as a percentage. So there is an adjustment. There is a change at retirement, more than just I'm not earning income. It can be difficult, not just psychologically, I'm not working anymore, what should I do? But that change impacts other things. And so Social Security is, we think, going to be there in some form, and they'll raise taxes to make sure that the benefit keeps paying to those people that depend on it. But we just want to work to maximize that benefit by itself and then coordinate that benefit with the other assets we have.
Yeah, so I think that was pretty
But you're the expert at Social Security.
I guess you could
He's
say that.
becoming more experienced, too.
Yeah.
And we want to see, come in, give us your Social Security statements, which has your PAI, and we can show you, based on some conservative assumptions, what your lifetime benefit will be and how that will coordinate with your spouse if you have that benefit, and what it'll do for you and help you make a good decision that will go a long way towards meeting your retirement lifestyle needs.
So to finish off this episode, we can go through some rapid fire FAQs and misconceptions.
Okay.
First one is, can I get Social Security if I'm working?
Yes.
Yes, you can.
And the longer you work and collect Social Security, that Social Security benefit will go up over time. So don't.
So if you are working and you take Social Security before your FRA 67, it will be reduced, but it will be credited back, like you said. And if you work after your FRA, if you take after your FRA, then you'll get the full
won't
benefit.
be reduced.
Yeah,
Right.
it won't be reduced.
We would submit you should seriously consider working as long as you want to work, and deciding to collect your Social Security benefit should be a separate decision from when you want to stop working. And we have clients that start their benefit before they quit working, and we have clients that quit working and wait many years before they start their Social Security benefit. And so if you look at collecting Social Security benefit and stopping work as two different decisions, you'll be in a better position.
Yeah.
But to say I'm going to work and then start Social Security is kind of old school thinking, and that probably won't maximize both your work life or your Social Security benefit.
Next, how is Social Security funded? I guess we talked about this at the beginning, but our taxes.
Employees and employers pay into the Social Security
and
system. They pay both. They pay both. So, which is a surprise sometimes for new business owners. But if you're an employer and an employee, you pay both halves.
Yep. So it goes into a big Social Security trust fund and gets paid out.
Right.
Through that. And lastly, is Social Security in trouble? We see that there are fewer workers for one retiree.
Yeah.
Where 50 years ago that wasn't the case. There were a lot more workers.
Well, there are two issues actually. At least when Social Security started years ago, there was more. Obviously, when you start something brand new, there's all workers, earners paying into the system, and very few retirees. But now there are arguably, as a percentage, fewer workers to more retirees.
Yep.
The second issue is those retirees are now living much longer, collecting that benefit more.
Yeah.
When it started years ago, life expectancy was 65. So arguably, the average worker may collect some Social Security. Some would live longer than life expectancy, but some would pay into their system their whole year and then die before 65.
Yeah.
And so there would be no benefit to that employee. But now with fewer workers paying in and more retirees living longer, the system is stressed.
Yeah.
But that's for the elected officials to, they'll work it out.
Yeah. I wouldn't worry about us losing out on Social Security. They said it's paid through at least the mid-2030s.
Those are just assumptions anyway. The advice we give is based on the system working. And if you're a fatalist and believe the system will fall apart, maybe you'll be right, but we're not going to make long-term plans based on the system falling apart. Well, although we would submit you need to have personal savings. And if you want to be very conservative in our assumptions for your retirement plans, we would probably assume no inflation adjustment going forward. We could run some scenarios that show no benefit coming to see what that would look like with your own personal savings and your own employer-sponsored retirement accounts. But realistically, we would assume that the system is working and you'll be collecting a benefit.
Yeah. So if you're worried and you want to take it at 62, maybe rethink that.
Maybe. Or if you talk with us, we may confirm, early benefit works. It worked for my parents.
Yeah.
They didn't live into their late 80s, and so they won the financial bet.
Yeah.
But it's a conversation worth having, because it could be a several $100,000 swing in the benefit over your lifetime, and it's important. Spend a little time and a little money to hire somebody that knows a little bit about this to have the conversation, because it is a big decision, and it's more important than next summer's vacation, of which we all spend lots of time planning. So plan for this as if it's important, because it is.
Yep. All right. Well, we hope you learned something new about Social Security. It's a pretty large topic and a lot going on.
We may come back to more of these.
Yeah. Let us know. So we hope you enjoyed the episode, and we'll see you on the next one.
Thank you.
Thank you for tuning in to today's episode of the Joss Brown Podcast. If you'd like to see more episodes, visit our website at jossbrown.com.